Welcome back to Talos Principle 2. I'm Dear Darling, and why are we here? What truth awaits us? Why don't we answer more of these questions together? Where last time, I generally have no recollection of what we're doing, by the way. So I hope it's painfully evident. I guess we are doing this one? I'm not sure. Transference, sorry. No, we've done this one. I do recognise it. Oh, I thought it was a thing of it. Have we just... Is there a way to look at all the map? It's like a map. Have we done all the levels here? 8, 2... And we've got 1 over 2 stars. Oh, we haven't found the Lost Lab. We should probably do that, huh? Let's look for question marks then, I guess, about this place. Because it looks to me we've done all the puzzles. Except for, oh yeah, okay. Lost Lab's probably over here then. What's the Sphinx puzzle? It was... Oh, it was this one. Except I couldn't figure out what it is, except for that definitely relates to... Oh, wrong button. The 8 levels on this place. It's just, don't know what we're meant to do at each one. I also swear I saw a hand up here. Have we done this one? We have. This is different. I feel like there was another one I saw as well, which I didn't end up doing the reading for, but nonetheless, we move. We continue onward. Why do I feel like that was not the place I spawned in? You know? I felt like I deliberately did not stand there. Oh, got a silhouette up there. Who's this one going to be? And also, what's that question mark for? We'll look in a second. Very cool pose you got going on over here. I assume this is Athena and Byron. That's what it looks like to me.
You know, when I decided that we should call ourselves human, I did that because it seemed like a powerful symbol of our continuity.
And I think it still is.
But
oh, here's a
the
lab.
truth is, and I'm ashamed to admit this,
It's holding onto a legacy or something?
Better than them.
Whoa,
I thought
Athena.
we understood the value of civilization, and we wouldn't repeat
quite
the
possibly
same
true,
mistakes.
to be honest.
But the simulation worked too well.
Too well.
We're not just like them.
We are them.
We really
Campfire?
are.
But that doesn't have to be a
Oh
bad
no,
thing,
for me
Athena.
it's fire.
We may have the same flaws, but we also have all the potential they did. Everything that Alexandra Drennan saw in them is also in us.
That's
I
so
hope
true.
You're right. I really do.
Honestly, quite motivational. Sorry, not Byron, Cornelius. I keep saying Byron when I mean Cornelius. Oh, it's so green down here. I genuinely thought that was a snake for a second, and I was like, that's new. So here we're going to get a little preview of whatever future mechanics we might have upcoming. I will say, this is a lot of descending downwards to do. Sorry, I'm having very erratic movements for no reason. Back again, these engines must do something. In fact, we've seen one in every single lab. Maybe not, but this place distinctly looks very different with its green trims and secondary coloration. Do these open up? Whoa, these do open up. So many of these server rooms about the place. Looks like we're doing a lot of reading today. From Thecla 4. Beloved founder, know that I do not believe any of the lies the expedition is spreading about you is right. This Prometheus illusion is just a test. Oh, this is a really recent one. We resist temptation as you once did. We will not disappoint. Praise your name, Thecla. From very much Athena worshipper. History of Athena. Was first published as Athena, a novel, and retained that title for its first three printings, now highly sought after. After a long popularity, it was reprinted as Athena Reborn, a novel. Athena Reborn, a novel. Okay, this edition retained the same text, but included some of the author's poetry, like a collector's edition or something. The next edition, however, published long after the author's death, after Athena's death, under the rather embarrassing title Athena's Truth, included several cuts and drastic changes to the text, in the interest of updating it for modern audiences. This particularly affected the last chapter, Anthropogony, which he edited is accused of scientism and human supremacy. Sorry, pause. Science wunderkind, Alexandra Drennan was one of the first few to come to the novel's defence, writing in a long essay that the novel's clear-eyed belief in the value of Athena's journey towards humanity had been essential to shaping her own views, encouraging her to pursue science as a vocation rather than a career. But changing the text constituted an attack on the author's unique artistic and philosophical vision. Didn't this happen like really recently, like 5 days ago? No, 5 years ago or something, with some book where it was like republished and then caused a lot of controversy because it like completely undermined the point of the book. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was 1984. That would be very ironic. Alex, who hurt you, Lamau? One of the editors commented on a popular social media platform. Social media. Nadia Sarabi of the Institute of Applied Pneumatics also got involved in the discussion, backing Drennan, resulting in a long but unsuccessful campaign to oust Sarabi from her position as head researcher. Why? What? I'm just reading this being like, who cares? No, I mean, like, Alexandra's got a good point, but like, why would you have a campaign to oust her from a position as head researcher? Like, a researcher would be like, number one person you'd be like, oh yeah, that person would absolutely want to preserve the integrity of the original format. In the current context of ecological catastrophe, as evidenced by the recent extinction of orangutan, clumsy editing aside, do the critics of a novel perhaps have a point after all? Oh, these comments by Miranda and Athena. Is a philosophy that places human above natures and sees science and technology as the only valid tools, the cause of all of our troubles? What about other ways of knowing, other ways of living? I mean, anything which prioritizes only one thing as a definitive answer above all else, I feel like is a bit of a closed viewpoint. Context is important. Alright, what's our future preview? I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. This might be a reference to something we've seen before, but I'm not sure what it is. It could be a map. I'm not sure what would be a map of necessarily or which world it is, but potentially. A lot of this rubber sort of tubing about the place. I guess we'll go up. Interesting. So is this the next one? It's a sort of like one of those dog training ring things. As it just sort of passes through each one. Is it taking? It does look like it's taking the same path each time. Which is at least some sense of consistency. From Byron, message to Drennan, Stratton and Socrates. I just wish I knew why you didn't tell me. What did you know? Message to Drennan. From who? We don't know. Who do you think you are, playing God like that? When Mother Nature's finally found a way of getting rid of us, you come up with this harebrained scheme to keep our destruction of our planet going. Insane start, I would say to a message. Just try for 1 second to think about something other than your own arrogance and hubris, Alexandra, and try to imagine what you're really doing here. Without your robotic perversions, the future looks beautiful. The complete annihilation of humanity. Interesting. No more humans murdering everything in the path. The skies clear up, the stars become visible again, the rivers stop being filthy, and after a few decades they're full of fish again. Dolphins and whales roam the seas like your ancestors did. The cities turn into jungles, and bat nests in the skyscrapers where hedge fund managers used to ruin lives. Interesting that this is your portrayal of beauty, rather than one of like redemption or change, is utter destruction. I'm not saying whether that's right or wrong or good or bad, I'm just commenting on it. And the Earth lives on as it was meant to, peacefully and quietly, till someday in the distant future when it all ends like it was meant to. I hate to break to you, that's going to happen anyway. Or we take your path. We continue our rampage. We place ourselves above the animals. We think we know better than Mother Nature. We violate all boundaries. We ruin all purity. Perhaps we even defy death, just so we can keep spreading our filth. Then we spread to other planets to do more of the same. And in the end, what have we left behind but plastic and radiation? Think, Alexandra, think. Isn't it better for beauty to return to the Earth? For us to acknowledge that intelligence was a mistake and to gracefully exit while we can? That's a hot take. intelligence was a mistake. Is it? And beauty, the earth is only beautiful in its original state. Not sure it's something I particularly agree with, but, I respect you. I respect your right to have an opinion. Stop this. Go spend time with your friends and loved ones before the end. Let it go. Let us all go. And let there be peace. I don't understand how someone could hate humanity so much. This person must have been full of sadness and frustration to write something so ugly. I've tried to understand it as well, but I still don't. Straton on Socrates. From a complete works of Straton on Strigera? In killing a philosopher for asking questions they did not like, the Athenians committed themselves to a tragedy with an ironic ending. Some will say that his true crime was his friendship with Alcibiades, the shameless deceiver of idiots and buffoons, and the insipid brute Critias, and that he was executed as an enemy of democracy. That he was the latter can hardly be denied, for Socrates asked not too many questions, but too few, or he would not have survived the rule of 30 tyrants. Yet in the end he got what he had asked for, a tyrannical decision made by would-be wise men against the spirit of freedom, which he obeyed like a knave, and the Athenians, in fulfilling his wishes, strangled the roots of democracy while seeking to preserve it. Ouch! No wonder Straton was unpopular. People who speak the truth at all times rarely are. I think it's probably a rare thing to find someone who speaks truth at all times. Not that I go against your point, Athena, of history having a history of silencing truth-sayers. What's this map then? A wormhole. Wormhole technology is interesting. This thing down here looks like the Only Connect logo. UK game show. So presumably it's going to overload us again. We're going to have a memory sequence. Oh, no, okay. Chernyshevsky. From Arkady Chernyshevsky's And Our Likeness, Essays on Humanity Reaching Adulthood. War is the crudest, most obscene human activity. It may justly be called an abomination, for it is the absolute negation of conscious human will. There is only a single cause of war, for all the endless deceptions that are foisted upon us, and that is the acquisition of resources. Varied ideologies are constructed to justify this crude behaviour, this childish degeneration of thought and communication, but history reveals the ruthless, unflattering truth. We imagine crusaders as fanatics of a cause, willing to die for their religion, yet the Fourth Crusade culminated not in the conquest of Jerusalem, but in the looting of Constantinople, setting the stage for the triumph of the very enemy the crusaders claimed to oppose. Why? The answer, as with every war, is the same. That's interesting. I never considered that. I wonder how true that is. I'm not enough of a historian to be able to weigh that up against all wars. I feel like the motivations are probably more entrenched and difficult than that, but it depends how far you sort of, not extrapolate, what's the word, like, generalise, what the acquisition of quote-unquote resources is. It is popular amongst the ghouls of the establishment and the misanthropic friends and the intelligentsia to ascribe the persistence of war to a human nature. I mean, I feel like this is like completely going on the other end, but a careful observation of the facts reveals the opposite to be true. Individual human beings must be broken in order to submit to war, their minds distorted by ideology, and their bodies by poverty and ruthless training to make them compliant. Without force, the majority of human beings only seek to protect themselves and are traumatized by the act of killing. I think that's fair. I mean, by the way, my counterpoints, not my counterpoints, but the points of discussion I raise here are not meant to frame it in a way of like I'm pro-war or anything. I'm very anti-war, of course, but it's fascinating. It's just like a fascinating perspective. I mean, that's one of the brilliant things about Talos Principle 2. You got to think about the puzzles, and you got to think about your own moral fibre and ideologies that you subscribe to when you read these logs. But it is the resources that are the core cause of war, when it's only in the production and distribution of resources that an answer may be found. It's not enough to morally condemn war. We must work to prevent the material issue that endangers us all. Well, that I can agree with, no matter whether you agree on this being the core cause of war in the first place or not. From Goethe to Athena. Dear Founder, I'm afraid that we're losing our humanity. We're angry at each other, always disagreeing about everything, unable to forgive each other for being different. I don't know how much longer. I don't know what could save us. Please help us, Founder, please. This must be a reply from Athena being like, what more, or what can I give him, I suppose. Name on Project 11. Resuming trials of new protocols, energy output contained, no errors. Hyperbolic growth, advanced synthesis. From Athena, so just more of the scientific trials that she's been doing. Fascinating. Nope, hold on, that's not where we came. This one felt more like a philosophical discussion, more so than a lore bomb, I think. I suppose at this point we know a lot of the major points. Oh, so bright. Of the story, so I guess that doesn't come as too much of a surprise. Still don't really know how we're going to do the Sphinx statue. Also, have we done that? Handprint? Spoken to you, Alcatraz? I don't know if we've seen every person yet. Have we done this one? Yes, okay. I guess we'll do the Tetronimo pieces in the tower then. Jump. No. We'll do the Tetronimo pieces. And that's probably where we'll round off today's episode. Okay, I guess it's not solid. Fascinating. I don't think there's anything else we left. There might be more logs or something, but... Oh yeah, already spoken to you two. So the gate is this way. Someone to speak to over here. Who is it? Hermanubis.
What can I do for you, 1K?
I do like your voice. Could the theory of everything be used safely?
Let's assume for a moment that we could use it safely,
Okay.
which I doubt. Does that mean
Negative.
that we should? Is it right for us to dominate the world?
We don't have to use it for
We
dominating
value
the
our
world.
own freedom. Should we not also value the freedom of all the living things with which we share this
If we have a theory of everything, can't we literally make our own planet? But I understand where you're coming from. But I feel like that's jumping to a conclusion
Let's have this conversation at another time.
that I found.
You still have a lot to do. Better get to it.
Okay, you just ended the conversation. I feel like
What can I
you
do for
make
you,
it sound like there's no
1K?
in-between. You know, rather than it being a sort of like gradual slope up to
My chief
the extreme.
aide, Jeremy, is in charge for now.
The
It's
extreme,
good practice
ends.
for him, in case he decides to run for office one day.
How does running for office work in your society? If people can't be president again or whatever.
Cornelius is responsible for
Sorry, Mayor.
many innovations. He helped create the designs for the upgraded body you inhabit.
Nice.
Although the founder chose to remain in her original configuration.
Fair enough.
But in recent years, he had settled into a life of quiet scholarship. Or so it seemed.
I have to go.
It's always a pleasure to speak to a citizen.
Well, I'm glad that we enjoyed this chat. I mean, you know, at the end of the day, you just have a competing philosophy. When I don't agree with everything you say, I understand your precautions that you want to take to certain things. Of it. Where is the gate? Oh, it's over here. Okay, I see. 1 minute 30. Can we build this gate in time, do you think? Well, if it gives us... Whoa, okay. The literal answer, what we have to do, then I suppose we can. Nope. This one. Okay, so it has to be this one. I'm just gonna guess this one. Then I'll guess this one. Then I'll guess... Not that one. That one. That one. That one. The fact that it worked is crazy. Sometimes you just gotta get lucky. I suppose next time then we'll actually head up the tower and see what may be waiting for us. And it seems to be the last subworld, isn't it? No, 2 more. Never mind. The first of the western subworlds. For some reason I thought I was much further in this game than I was. But for now, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Talos Principle 2 and I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.